Hey, it's me, David. After thinking a long time about the Steven Universe Future intro, I've emerged from the Lunar Sea Spire Theory Research and Development Center with a new theory that explains this strange cactus conglomerate. At the Spire, we have no shame about coming up with far-fetched theories, but hopefully I've approached the truth here. The Cacti Cluster intrigues me because it exists as a fusion of a few storylines we've been watching play out for a long time. Rose Quartz's ability to create and control organic life, the homeworld fusion experiments, and Jasper's arc. In my theory, I'm able to unify pretty much every villain we see in the intro, and it even considers what could happen with all those bubbled rose quartzes in the human zoo. Here's what I think's gonna happen in Steven Universe Future. Jasper will create the Cacti Cluster while experimenting with creating an organic army as a means to corrupt Steven and White Diamond. Stay with me. I think this is plausible. Let's start with the Watermelon Stevens. Ever since we saw the magic moss at Dead Man's Mouth, we've known Rose had a special relationship to organic life. We saw this connection strengthened when we saw that Rose's fountain had become overgrown with brambles and bushes that were alive. Her power over organic life was confirmed in Watermelon Steven, when we found out she was able to both create and command new organic life forms. The way Watermelon Stevens have been used in the plot so far have been to give Steven access to discovering what was up with Malachite and to tell his friends he was in danger. This is the only payoff we've had for Rose's plant powers. Sure, we've come to see that her healing powers also applied to organic life in very strange ways, but we've never heard about how she used plant life in battle. Really, there's a bunch of mysteries around this power still. Was Pink created to have power over organic life even though the diamonds have no interest in organics? Why do so many of Rose's powers also work on organic life? Healing, mind control, Genesis. Having the Watermelon Stevens come back will hopefully help us address these questions. More importantly, we'll finally get to see Jasper use and abuse them to attack Steven. She probably wouldn't mind seeing them tortured after they help the crystal gems defeat her. But before I talk about how Jasper will do this and what her ultimate plans are, let's talk about her journey thus far. Jasper has been through many tribulations to arrive where we last see her and change her mind. She's gone from rejecting and ridiculing fusion to accepting its dark side in a quest for power. In Alone at Sea, she was desperate to become Malachite again, and I have a good feeling that the Lapises we see in the intro are going to be her new fusion partners. Just like Jasper's seen the power of fusion though, she's also experienced the terror of corruption. Now that she's permanently scarred from her time as a corruption, I think her identity is in shambles. She used to build her self-worth around being the perfect soldier, an exemplary if not perfect quartz, but after being corrupted, and her realization that she's not as strong as a fusion, and the fact that her loyalty to Pink Diamond was worthless, I'm sure her mental state is terrible. Since she was aware of the cluster experiment, I think she has knowledge about the project that will help her try out fusing organic life, but I think her angle will be to corrupt it as well. She'll be bringing in everything most personal to her. If she does this, we would hopefully get to find out more about the original cluster project, which still has a lot of details we're waiting to learn about. But we'll also get payoff for all these puzzle pieces that have been sitting around disconnected for a while in Jasper's arc. But how could she even achieve meddling with organic life if the gems in their technology are usually incapable of affecting it? There's at least two roads down which this could be done, and I think it probably would be a combination of the two. First, as we've seen both with the moss and Rose's garden, there's apparently pseudo-corrupted plant life already around, at least on Earth, if not other places Rose has been. Jasper could use this to help her corrupt the Watermelon Stevens. She also has access to Rose's healing tears, which have funny effects on life when it dies. And I could only imagine what would happen if you took some decaying Watermelon Stevens and mixed them in a vat with magic moss and some healing tears. The second more compelling path involves those bubbled rose quartzes in the human zoo. I think they may have been imbued with the same abilities that Rose had. It may even be part of the reason why they were left bubbled in the zoo, besides the fact that a rose quartz shattered Pink Diamond. Jasper could recruit them to help her manipulate the Watermelon Stevens. I think the payoff for having seen these rose quartzes back in Season 4 was for a big moment like this. Having evil Rose Quartzes aid in corrupting the life that Pink originally sought to protect would be a wild direction for the show to go. But even if Jasper has the motivation and means, the show's about Steven, and no matter what, the lore and even plot are secondary to his emotional journey. In Cartoon Network's own words, this limited series will be about Steven facing his inner problems. I think this direction for the plot gives room for Steven to have a new inner conflict that isn't about living in his mom's shadow. Rather, now that Steven is in a pivotal place in both Gem and human society, he's going to be feeling a lot of pressure to be a good leader. I think Jasper abusing the watermelon Stevens will bring Steven to question his own treatment of the watermelons. Heck, since we just found out that Pumpkin is maybe confirmed as deceased in this season, that might be the thing that kicks off Steven thinking about the personhood and mortality of his creations. Steven has also been unable to have closure in dealing with the cluster and the bubbled Rose Quartzes, as far as we know, and was never able to redeem Jasper. These failures would be brought right back to mind with Jasper's plan. If Aquamarine and Eyeball team up to help Jasper as well, that'll be just another failure to heap on top of Steven. This emotional fragility might be the perfect breeding grounds for Jasper to work some corruption magic on Steven. A ton of fans have speculated about the giant worm monster being Steven, and I think having Jasper try to corrupt him into this crazy beast to avenge her own corruption makes some sense. Even more importantly, if she's upset with the New World Order, she may not want to stop at toppling who she thought was Rose Quartz. She may take out her anger on White Diamond as well, which could explain why White's looking so flushed here. But anyway, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts on this theory and if you think these themes are what will really be covered in the upcoming limited series. Until next time, nerds.